Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Startup Secrets for Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Shelby Oleschlager, and our mission here is to help entrepreneurs make a difference and navigate the messy world of startup or relaunch, commonly called as a pivot. Join me today where we dig deep with our guests and give you the best concepts and strategies to fast track your business. Today, our special guest, I'm really excited to introduce Sonia Marta, who is an avid reader and writer, and I just love that as myself who loves to read. So thank you so much for joining us, Sonia. To get started, I'd love to know what inspired you to do this type of work, and also just tell us what you do.
Hi, thank you so much for featuring me on your podcast. It means so much to me. Well, as you know already, my name is Sonia, and ever since I was small, we're talking about 3 to 4 years old now, I've been really passionate about poems. So one of my favorite authors was Luciana Matuonto. Oh, no, sorry. Actually, Luciana, I think. I might be wrong. And so she's sort of like the author which started me out and which showed me that I actually really enjoy writing. And so my first book, Oracol, which is in Romanian, and it was a story about poems, about daily activities that I'd be doing at the time, going to kindergarten mostly, was basically how it all started. And poetry was sort of like the spark which gave me the sort of like nourishment that I needed to further along write The Rapping Astronaut and now Prepare City Tour Trip with Sonia. And basically the biggest inspiration that I get is by dreams or videos like movies. I really love sort of like culture and really seeing new stuff and just getting out of my comfort zone is really what gets new ideas working and going for me. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool how that happens where you get these sparks of inspiration and all of a sudden before you know it, you're like, I want to put this out there. I want to share myself, which is a huge leap for people. And I really like that, you're able to do that and you see that growth aspect of doing this. So tell us a little about some of the, like when you've been doing this work, what exactly are you like, what is your mission? What's your goal with all of this?
So my main goal is basically inspire children everywhere around the world, because being such a young author myself, it's sort of still hard for even myself to realize that I've actually managed to publish a book at my age. And just really, I want to show the people and the children like worldwide that if you've got a dream and that if you're consistent and that, if you show if you're going and you've got goals and you know where you want to take your passions to, then you can certainly do it with consistency and just really having a strong passion that's going to be basically your train rails. So,
yeah. Awesome. So can you just let us know, how old are you?
I am 14.
Oh, that's so cool. Like, man, I feel people listening, they're like, oh, like my ship has sailed, or like there's people doing this. Like, just know that is so incredible for you to see this at such a young age, because it is only up from here, girl. Like, that is awesome. So with that being said, now that you've started this journey, has there been some piece of advice? Like, what is the best piece of advice that you've given or been given?
Whoa, that's definitely hard. Well, sort of like the best advice that I've personally been given, especially in the moments where I started losing confidence or motivation. I was struggling, for example, with getting ideas from my head onto the paper, was that like, whatever, it doesn't matter like what you get done as long as you get something done for your future. So for example, just know that if you wake up tomorrow, if you're further than you were yesterday, then you're on the tracks, even though it may not seem like it. Just consistency is key. So that was honestly something that was hard for me to first learn about. But as soon as I went along like the moral of this sort of like phrase, I really realized that consistency is key and it does take you to where you want to be. So
yeah. And just having that goal always to guide you and knowing your why and wanting to do that. So let's circle back to that. Like, do you have a why of like why you want to keep doing this and what your goals are? Like, what's the why behind it?
Well, to be honest, my first ever session with a kindergarten, I don't remember which one was my first one, but I remember, and also this happened, started occurring along my journey as I was visiting schools and kindergartens. Sort of my, like, what gets me going is there's, like, out of that audience that you reach, there's one or two people which reach out and they say, you've really inspired me. And actually 3 children already from the ones that I visited have published a book by now, and they've contacted me and they've told me, and that really just inspires me so much. And it just gets me going to see that I've actually had an impact on them. And that's really just mind blowing even now. It's just, it feels like, it's like it's really what keeps me going. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is all about that. I think as an entrepreneur, just someone that puts himself out there, it is about that ripple effect, like you're sharing and inspiring, and then it just, you don't know how many lives it's going to impact. And I think for myself, that's so powerful to just feel that sense of you made a difference in someone's life and you help them in a better way and inspired them. And I really do think that's incredible. So right now, like with your books, who is your target audience? Like you're helping younger kids mostly. Is that who you want to stay focused on?
Yeah. So my audience is really the younger adults. So children which are, around high school, those, even though those are not really children anymore. Because especially now with my story, The Rapping Astronauts, it's one of my short-term goals to actually translate it into Ukrainian. So the people which sadly have, due to the war and everything that's going on around the world right now, to give them the possibility, to give them access to education. And even with my story, the reason why I chose this one was because it fitted like perfectly with the sort of like story that they're going through, the sort of situation, because it's about Ostra, which is a boy which doesn't fit in, and due to something that, he just wakes up and something happens and he has to go on this adventure, which is really risky and dangerous. And he almost loses hope at one end, but then he discovers this planet where he finally gets accepted as is, and manages to settle there after all his previous life where he felt like he didn't belong. And it shows like a courage and bravery, and it's really sort of something that fits in great with the situation. And just being able to being given the opportunity to translate it into Ukrainian is something that matters so much to me. And it's really touching, I guess. So yeah, that would answer your question, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's really interesting just how you can take a character and relate to it. Like if it's like a fiction or nonfiction, you're able to, make these people feel like that character who doesn't fit in. And I think that's so powerful and so cool that you're going to be able to do that and share that. So with that being said, like I find some writers, they write, but they don't really know how to get it shared. And I'm a believer that like words can change lives. Like we can change the world with words. And as a writer, like an aspiring writer, I haven't published a book yet, but like we can make that difference and we need to grow that audience. So for you and what you've done, like how have you been able to really share your messages out into the world?
You mean how I managed to share like my content to the...
Yeah.
Well, thanks to the help of my mom, which I'm really grateful to, I've managed to sort of like present to her like my ideas and where I want to go. And she's managed to put the book on platforms such as like Amazon and EMAG here in Romania, libraries like Cărturești over here in Bucharest, but also managed to sort of like do collaborations with voiceover artists all around the world, which would read an extract from my book. And one of them actually, Shanji Casey, agreed to do an audiobook for the Rapping Astronauts, which is available on Audible. So I'm really grateful for all their contributions. They've certainly managed to get my name out there, and my message, most importantly, and the stories of the books and their impact, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of collaboration and sharing that way seems to work. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Especially regions which are more like the USA or Canada, for example. I felt like those compared to Romania really stuck out. And especially in like terms of comments or empowering messages, they've really inspired me specifically to carry on and to continue what I'm doing. So I feel like the more like the wider the range of people that you're reaching, the greater sort of like the impact that you're gonna get back will be. So
yeah, it is all about that. I like you see entrepreneurs, they're thinking it's about the money, where it's like, it is to some degree, but it's also about the more awareness you can bring, the more impact. And that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah.
Like that is the more, but you just need more, right? You need more audience to make that bigger reach. So that's definitely important. And with that, what are your long-term goals? Like, where would you like to see yourself in even a year from now?
Oh God.
Let's hear it.
Sure. Well, I definitely see myself. I mean, I'm currently studying, and in 1 year time, I'm still going to be in school. So definitely keeping my grades up as a start. But in terms of like writing and carrying out my passions, I definitely look to growing, for example, my YouTube channel and getting into more that creative side, elaborating my other passions along with writing. But also with writing, I have a long-term sort of like project right now, which I'm working on. We plan on like my work right now. It's currently being typed up, but when we finish, hopefully over this summer holiday, we plan on doing like this project so we can put it on Kickstarter. So that would be sort of like my long-term goal, to get my new projects and my current ideas on paper and out to the readers so they can get inspired. And
Awesome. I love it. Has there been anything that's been surprising that you've had to face, like any sort of obstacles or challenges that you're surprised that you faced?
Well, being such a young author, I feel like you get a lot of sort of like strange looks by people, that they don't believe that your work is actually yours, or they're really shocked when they hear that you've published a book, because I feel like so many people think that, for example, just publishing a book is such a big milestone. But for me personally, I feel like if you just set your mind on something and you set your goals and you know how you're going to get there step by step, you can do it. And it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it is something big, but if you keep consistency, and you keep being consistent, then it can lead to reality, and
I think having big dreams like that, people, like just what you said, it's so relatable, where it's like you have this big dream and people are like, wow, good for you. But it's like it sounds like you're not content with it. It's like, we did that, but it's not that big of a deal. Like we have way more to go. Like we have a lot more things we're going to do than just write this book, right?
Especially for like my age. I just feel like I have so many different ideas and I'm trying to get all of them on paper, but it's getting it's being like a bit of a struggle, I'm not gonna lie, especially with school now and with my IGCSEs like programs getting even harder and more challenging to face. So school is definitely a very big sort of time consuming, well, not really time consuming, but it takes time, 8 hours at school. And it stops me from writing as much or dedicating as much time as I want to my future. So that's also a kind of big drawback. And it's just something where I wish I had more time, but I don't really. So it's just falling in agreement to seeing like where I am and how much I'm doing is actually enough, because I have big ideas and I want to go quickly and move places and inspire people and write more books, but I can't go as fast as I want to. So I have to understand that it's okay to sort of like slow down a bit.
For sure. How have you been able to schedule it all? Like, how have you been able to structure your days where, you're busy with school and you want to do your writing, you want to do your extra stuff? Like, how are you able, and even visit schools, like you said earlier, you're visiting kindergarteners. How are you able to plan it all out?
Well, my mom really is sort of helping me to reach out to schools and kindergartens, especially because being a minor or being under 18 is sort of hard to get through to get my message through with, seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's been helping me arrange, for example, inspiring me to see what emails are supposed to look like when I want to offer a school, a session with my books. And I mean, I guess it's just 1 hour dedicated every day after school, whether I want to or not, just sort of setting myself a 15-minute timer, opening a notebook or my previous Word doc, and starting to write. And after, I don't know, around 5 minutes of dreadful procrastination, I'll finally get my way through it. And as I said, consistency is key. So 1 hour after school, I try my best to keep it going and to write something new every day.
Yeah, consistency really is the ticket, especially as a writer. I think you hear that all the time where it's like you just have to do that little bit every single day.
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool with a book or any sort of writing is that at the end of it, you really do see that progress. You see it all laid out and you're like, wow, I did that, right?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
For your goals, I'm curious, how would you achieve these goals that you want, these big dreams? How would that change any other area of your life?
Well, I think that, just seeing, like, stepping back from the work that I'm doing and just seeing that my dreams have actually like partially become reality because I was, I had a very big drive of great, and passion, and I believed I could do it. I just feel like because I was so determined to set out on my goal, it's really inspiring to see that, at first I was a bit, ambivalent to ambiguous to whether I should start or not. I was a bit scared that I wouldn't make it, but I said, you know what, let's give it a shot. And I don't know where it's going to take me, but I couldn't be more grateful and happier about, where this journey has taken me so far. So I just really put myself out there, out of my comfort zone, and took the opportunity and see where it went. So
and I think I was just reading something that you said. It was like, why not outside of Romania too? And I think that's really powerful, that wording of why not, like, why not that? So with that, what has that really led you is just that like mindset of growth, or that mindset of like, I can do more. Like, do you know where that really came from, or like what's been inspiring you for that?
I feel like just the sort of like thousands of ideas that come through my head have nourished me sort of like to move forward. And as I said before, seeing that some of the people which I visit actually took the sort of like advice that I gave them into account and published their own book and went out to me and reached out to me and said that, hey, this is all because of you, so I couldn't thank you more, it's just really like, it's a feeling I can't describe. Just someone coming up to you like children and saying that you've made a difference. It's really something that's like almost unreal. It's like surreal, it's just what really kept me going these days, as I said.
I love it. So for people listening and they want to learn more from you, or they want to read your books, where can they find you and connect with you?
So I can, you can find me on Instagram at Sonia _Marta _author, on Facebook as well at the same username. I can, my books are available online if you just type the sort of like title, and you'll get a couple of briefs about like where I've been featured, or my Instagram pages. I think they link. And so, yeah. Audible, as I mentioned, it's my Be Curiosity Tour, A Trip with Sonia books, also available on Google Play Books as an ebook, and on Amazon. It's free actually if you have the Amazon Kindle subscription, if I'm not wrong. And on Audible, my audiobook for The Rapping Astronaut, which is narrated by Shanji Casey. So yeah, that I think sums it up.
Okay. Yeah. And if not, they'll connect to you if they wanted to learn more, anything like that. So that's awesome. One final thing I like to ask is if there's one thing you want to leave the listeners, if there's aspiring authors out there that are kind of going through some of the struggles that you have, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to leave us all off with?
Wow, that's deep. I think just, however hard it is, just opening that blank document and having stared at it for so long, I feel like, it's something that authors can relate to. I feel like if you just set your time, like 15 minutes, for example, start out small, and slowly you'll develop and you'll become, you'll manage to do that thing for longer, and you'll reach places that you couldn't even have dreamed about at first. So really just starting out small and keeping consistent, believing in yourself, having that passion, drive, and just heading where, like you're in the end, your creativity is the limit. So, yeah, I guess just go for it, and you never know if you never try.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Sonia, for joining us today. This was a really awesome conversation, and for myself, I got a lot from it, and I hope the listeners do as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay.